Jordan Moorhead here with Keller Williams Realty. Real quick, I'm going to talk about how you can make over $500,000 from house hacking in just 5 years. So I've been house hacking since 2016. I've never put down anywhere more than 5%. Most of them have been 3.5%. I have done one 5% down deal. I've made over $561,000 in gross gains from house hacking. About 150,000 of that is money spent on rehabs, but that's still over $400,000 in net gain from house hacking. So first thing I want to talk about here today is just getting in the mindset to house hack over and over and over. So obviously I've been doing this for 5 years. I just closed on my 4th house hack. So I've not done one a year. My first one I stayed in for a few years while I got it rehabbed. I didn't have any money to get it done. So the first one I bought, I did a little bit of the work myself. I hired out most of it, but I had no money. So I had to save up money to do any sort of rehab. I got lucky there. The siding got replaced from a hailstorm just because I asked. I said, hey, I heard hail last night. I see hail damage on my siding. Will you guys pay for this? The insurance company came out, they inspected it. They ultimately ended up replacing the siding. Again, I saved up money over the first 2 years to do work on the unit because I didn't have any money after I closed on this first place. But after 2 years, I was able to get enough money to fix it up, bought it for $182, sold it for $327. My next house hack, I had a little money, I had credit, so I was able to borrow the money to get it rehabbed before I moved into it. Bought it for $260, spent about $70 on it, sold it for $430 ultimately. A couple of years later, I bought it in 2018, just sold that in 2020. I'm standing in my 3rd house hack here in East Austin. I bought this thing for $341 last year, put about $65 into it. Now it's worth $565, probably more. It was worth $565 in May of 2021 when I refinanced. We're talking October of 2021 here. Not sure what it's worth now. I'm assuming more because prices just keep going up. I just closed on my 4th house hack last week. Again, we're October 2021. I closed October 11th, 2021 in South Austin. It is also a duplex. I've always house hacked 2-unit properties, and I think that's part of the reason I've been able to keep going. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. So it's in South Austin. It needs some cosmetic rehab. It is poop brown right now, so we're absolutely going to paint that thing right away. Painting actually starts next week. Rehab will start in about a month when both tenants are moved out. But that thing will be worth around $600 after the rehab. I bought it for $500. It immediately appraised at $522. So I know I have some upside here. And it appraised at $522 in its current condition, which is okay, but it's not in great condition and it looks terrible. So I'm going to do a rehab to that before we move in. So this is where I'm going here. Where I've gone now. So I started my house hacking. I had no money. I lived in a place that was kind of a dump and fixed it up as I lived there because I had no money. But how I've continued to do this over and over and over and plan on continuing to do it over and over because it works so well and it's such a great way to make a lot of money and buy rental properties for next to nothing down is I have transitioned more along this scale. So my friend Craig Curlop talks about the comfortability scale in his book, House Hacking, published by Bigger Pockets. There's the far end of the scale, which is a little more uncomfortable. You're probably living in somewhere that needs to be rehabbed. You're probably renting out absolutely every space. It's a little more uncomfortable, but it's a good way to make a lot of money. But there's the far end of the scale. I have a friend in West Austin living in Zilker in a nice house, and they have an ADU in the back. They just built this house 2 years ago. They have an ADU in the back that's an Airbnb. So this is a multi-million-dollar house, luxury house they just built, and they subsidize that by having an Airbnb in the back. I'm somewhere probably a little over the middle line. I live in a freshly rehabbed duplex in East Austin. It's 15 minutes from downtown. It's really nice. We plan on continuing to do that for a while. So again, I started down this scale pretty far. I lived in a place, it was a little ratty. We did paint immediately, we did carpet immediately. These are cheap things you can do for almost nothing. And we're able to live in it, but I had a roommate. I made the porch an Airbnb room. So I turned the porch, which was big enough for a bed, a full bed, into an Airbnb room, and I actually profited $400 a month to live in this first one. But not as nice of a house, was not nice at all for most of the time I lived in it. Now we live in a really nice house. We've got tile, we've got LVP, we've got nice finishes, we've got nice paint, we've got brand new windows, we've got brand new siding, stainless steel appliances, and really everything you would want in a nice house. We're gonna do that same thing for a couple more times. Then we will move further down the line to buying a nice house with an ADU in the back. All I'm saying is you can continue to house hack over and over and over and over. You just need to figure out which ways work best for you and fit your lifestyle. So again, in the beginning, it might be a little uncomfortable. That's okay. You need to do what you have to do to make it happen. So get in the right mindset, understand the massive gains that you can make by house hacking, and set a goal. Have that goal be so important that it leads you to your why. Why are you doing this? Maybe you want to be financially free. You want to get out of your job. You want to travel more. That's a good why. So what do you need to do to get there? House hacking and being a little uncomfortable in the beginning is a great way to do it. So getting into the technical pieces of how you can house hack over and over and over, you want to work with a great lender that can help you plan out this strategy from the get-go. Don't work with a lender that just wants to get you into one house. Work with a lender that's going to try to help you figure out how to get into 5 of these. So what I have done, I bought the first property FHA, fixed it up, moved out. I moved out after about 2 years, and then I sold the place. So I took that huge gain from the first property and used that money to buy more properties. The second place, lived in it for a while. It was already fixed up when I moved in, lived in it for a while. Then I moved into this one that I'm in today and sold that last one last year. I used that money to go buy more rental properties, which are going to get me closer to financial freedom in the lifestyle that I want to live. So I've sold 2 of them so far. This one I'm in today, we will keep this. We're going to rent this side out on a monthly rental, totally legal here in Austin. Under 30 days in Austin is extremely hard to do, I guess you could say legally. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's hard to do and get away with it. It's against city ordinances under 30 days unless you have a license. The next one we will move into, we will do a monthly rental on the other side that we're not living in. We're going to fix it up. In about a year and a half, I will refinance out of the FHA loan, which is exactly what I did here. Bought this place for $341 with an FHA loan, refinanced out of the FHA loan, not to get cash. People in the real estate investing world think of refinance, I'm going to get cash. I wanted out of the FHA loan so I could use that FHA loan again, which is exactly what I did to buy the 4th duplex, again for 3.5% down. So I have 3 of these that I bought for 3.5% down, no more than $20,000 down. And I have one that I bought for 5% down. It was also no more than $20,000 down. So this is an awesome way to build up an awesome rental portfolio. I would not be where I am today if I was not doing house hacking. And I plan on continue to house hack even though I'm in a good position today because it's so effective. I make so much money off these things and I live for so cheaply while I have them in the area that I want to live in. So there's no reason not to do this. And I plan on continuing to do it for the long haul. 5 years in, I think I've got at least another 5 years in me. Thanks, guys.